Donald Trump is one of the flashiest billionaires on the planet, and his spending habits? Absolutely insane. We're talking about a $100 million private jet covered in gold, multi-million-dollar mansions with secret tunnels, and a car so high-tech it can electrocute attackers. But somehow, that's not even the craziest part. He once owned 50% of the Empire State Building for free. Yeah, free. And just when you think he's done, he pulls out a fleet of helicopters, a bomb-proof limo, and a yacht so luxurious it has its own hospital. You'd think a billionaire like Trump would spend his time in private jets and limos, but surprisingly, he also owns a 24-karat gold-plated motorcycle. The guys from American Chopper decided to surprise him with this one-of-a-kind masterpiece. And if you know Trump, you know he's obsessed with gold, so they went all out. The entire frame? Gold. The gas tank? Gold. Even the handlebars? Gold. But don't expect to see him riding around on it. Trump's not exactly a biker. Instead, he uses this thing as a flex. It's been showcased on the red carpet at Trump Tower, but now it just sits in his Miami hotel collecting dust. And here's the kicker. Trump didn't even buy it. They gave it to him for free. But if it ever went up for sale, with that much gold, it's gotta be worth at least $50,000. For most people, a $50,000 gold-plated motorcycle would be a major flex. For Trump, that's nothing. His watch collection alone is worth far more. One of his staples is the Rolex Day Date in solid gold, a classic status symbol among the wealthy. Price? $15,000. He also owns a Patek Philippe Ellipse, a watch worn by Drake and even Queen Elizabeth. This one is valued at $24,000. But his most expensive piece? The Rolex Ice Blue Platinum, a rare custom watch gifted by YouTuber Steve Will Do It.
Platinum presidential watch.
Very good.
This isn't something you can just walk into a store and buy. It was custom ordered and is worth $109,000. Altogether, his watch collection is valued at over $200,000. But even that is small compared to what he's spent on his cars. His first ever car was a 1956 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. Not exactly what you'd expect a teenager to drive. He loved it so much that years later, he convinced Rolls-Royce to dig through their archives and build him an exact replica. And somehow, this billionaire managed to get it for just $35,000, which is basically a discount Honda in Trump's world. His main ride these days is a $300,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom. The volume knob alone is made from a 100-year-old meteorite. But Trump doesn't just stick to Rolls-Royces. He also owns a Tesla Roadster. Even though he calls climate change a hoax, he still spent $200,000 on one of the fastest electric cars ever made. A Lamborghini Diablo, 1997, cost him $460,000, but when it hit auction years later, sold for $1 million. But his most expensive car isn't a sports car, it's his presidential limo. This thing is a literal tank on wheels. If someone tries to run up on Trump, the door handles will electrocute them on the spot. The limo is bomb-proof, bulletproof, and even chemical attack-proof. And if that's not enough, it can drop tear gas, smoke screens, and slippery oil to shake off attackers. And of course, because it's Trump, he added gold wherever he could. Price tag? $1.5 million. Trump once managed to get half of the Empire State Building without spending a dime. In the 1990s, the building's owner, Hideki Yokoi, had a problem. He owned it, but he didn't control it. The lease was locked in until 2075, leaving him unable to make any real decisions. That's when Trump stepped in, claiming he knew a legal loophole that could end the lease. But to make it work, he needed 50% ownership. Yokoi agreed. But the loophole? It didn't exist. The lawsuit Trump filed to break the lease failed, leaving him stuck with half a building he couldn't do anything with. So he found another way to profit, flipping his share for $28 million. With that money, he went on another spending spree, this time buying 3 identical luxury helicopters. Owning one private helicopter is a big deal. Trump? He owns 3, and they're all the exact same model. He went with the Sikorsky S-76, a high-end helicopter used by billionaires and world leaders. But of course, Trump had to make his different, so he customized them with gold everywhere. Gold-plated seatbelts, gold armrests, gold door handles, even gold carpets. Each helicopter cost him around $7 million, bringing his total fleet to $21 million. He mostly uses them for short flights between New York and Washington, D.C., but they're also handy when he visits his private yacht. And like everything else he owns, this yacht is ridiculously over the top. The Trump Princess is as extravagant as you'd expect. Designed by famous Italian designer Luigi Sturiano, it's less of a boat and more of a floating mansion. At a $30 million price tag has such features as 4 massive patios for lounging, a helipad because, of course, he needs one, Hand-carved onyx bathrooms with gold fixtures, walls made of rare bird's-eye maple and show leather. Inside, there are 11 bedrooms, multiple lounges, and even a private hospital with an operating room. It even has a sauna in Trump's master suite and another on the sun deck. The weirdest part? Trump doesn't even like yachts. He once said that whenever he's on one, he can't wait to get off. But that didn't stop him from spending tens of millions on it. In 2005, Trump decided to sell his own real estate courses under the name Trump University. He promised students they'd learn the secrets to getting rich from his hand-picked experts. The first class was free, just enough to lure people in. Then, they were pushed to buy more expensive courses, costing anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000. The problem? There was nothing valuable in the courses. Most of the lessons were common knowledge, and instructors weren't even personally trained by Trump. Instead, they pressured students to buy even more courses. For years, people kept losing money, and eventually the lawsuits piled up. In 2016, Trump was forced to pay $25 million in refunds, admitting no wrongdoing but settling the case. While this was one of his most controversial businesses, his next move actually helped people, and even made him look like a hero. In the 1980s, one of New York's most famous ice rinks, the Woolman Rink, had fallen into disrepair. The city spent 7 years and millions of dollars trying to fix it, but nothing worked. That's when Trump stepped in. He told the mayor he could get it done in 6 months, and for a fraction of the cost. The city agreed, and Trump delivered on his promise. He finished the entire renovation ahead of schedule and under budget, reopening the rink for thousands of families to enjoy again. But what really surprised people? He didn't keep the profits. Trump donated all the money made from the rink to charities and public parks. For once, this wasn't about making money. It was about fixing something the city had failed to do. Trump's Boeing 757, nicknamed Trump Force One, is one of the most extravagant private jets in the world. Originally owned by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, Trump bought it secondhand and customized everything. Inside, it has gold-plated seatbelts, sinks, and window frames, a TV lounge, a dining area, and a master bedroom, a full kitchen for in-flight meals. The jet cost around $100 million, and in 2021, Trump spent millions refurbishing it to keep it in top shape. Owning one luxury home is a dream for most people, while Trump owns several luxury properties, each more extravagant than the last. His New Jersey mansion, worth $2 million, sits on a golf course and includes a heated pool, tennis courts, and a helicopter pad. His New York estate spans 230 acres and features 60 rooms, 3 swimming pools, and private horse stables. It cost him $7.5 million. In Palm Beach, Florida, his Mar-a-Lago estate is even more extreme, with an underground escape tunnel and 3 bomb shelters. On the West Coast, he bought a Beverly Hills mansion for $13.5 million, designed with high-end sound systems throughout the house. But his most expensive property is his Trump Tower penthouse in New York City. Spread over 3 floors, it's lavishly decorated with gold, crystal chandeliers, and rare artwork. One of the most valuable pieces inside is a signed Muhammad Ali book worth $155,000. Altogether, Trump's real estate portfolio is worth over $155 million. But real estate wasn't enough. In 1989, he decided to create his own bike race to rival the Tour de France. In 1989, Trump wanted to bring a world-class cycling race to the US and named it the Tour de Trump. His goal was to create an event that could rival the Tour de France, covering a route from New York to Atlantic City. He spent $500,000 setting it up and promised a $250,000 prize for the winner. But despite the flashy branding, the event didn't gain the prestige he hoped for. After just 2 years, sponsorship changed hands and the race was renamed, erasing Trump's involvement entirely. That wasn't the last time he tried to make sports a business move. He later invested in a high-speed boat race, but this time, things took a tragic turn. After his failed cycling race, Trump set his sights on offshore powerboat racing. He wanted to bring an existing Florida speedboat competition to Atlantic City, hoping to drive more visitors to his casino. The problem? Atlantic City's waters were much rougher than Florida's. During the race, driver Kevin Brown lost control at 150 miles per hour, causing a fatal crash. Despite the tragedy, Trump didn't cancel the event. Bad weather forced delays for 4 days, frustrating spectators, but that only meant more people stayed in his casino, spending money while waiting for the race to resume. Even with the risks, the event continued for a few years before eventually shutting down. But this wasn't Trump's most expensive gamble. Trump's biggest casino project was the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. Opening in 1990, it was marketed as the most luxurious casino in the world, but it also came with a massive $1.2 billion price tag. The casino wasn't just about gambling. It had multiple nightclubs, high-end restaurants, a shopping mall inside a spa, pools, and even an amusement park. Despite the hype, the Taj Mahal quickly ran into financial trouble. Trump's aggressive borrowing meant the casino had huge debt, and by 1991, just 1 year after opening, it filed for bankruptcy. Over the next 2 decades, the casino changed hands multiple times before shutting down for good in 2016. It was one of Trump's most expensive failures, but even after losing a billion-dollar casino, he still lived a life of extreme wealth. What was the craziest spending you've ever had in your life? Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.